radio personality, Dr. Lorenza D. Smith, the host of Talking Sports Plus Preview Show, the voice of the historical black colleges and universities, high school and middle school athletics in the southeastern part of the United States.
Awesome. Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody having an awesome Wednesday. In other words, a wonderful Wednesday. I am Dr. Lorenza D. Smith, the international radio personality and the host of Talking Sports Plus Preview Show. We are the voice of the historical black colleges and universities, high school and middle school athletics in the southeastern part of the United States. And the show will be aired at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. This is the preview show. So I wanted to come to you and share some things like I do every Wednesday about what's going to be on the show and what we're going to be talking about tonight on the show. We have an outstanding log. It's full of some topics dealing with the NFL. The title of our show tonight is The Biggest Winners and Losers of the 2019 NFL Draft. Now, before I get into that point of discussing that and sharing those things with you, I want to let you know about my co-hosts. I have 4 co-hosts who will be joining me. First, we hail from North Alabama. We have Coach Tremaine Edwards. From the south part of Alabama, we have the E-Train, the conductor, the Don King of all things, Darrell E-Train Elliott. And in the central part of the state of Alabama, we have Touchdown Tony Stallworth. That's Coach Touchdown Tony Stallworth. He's our high school expert, talks a lot of things about high school. Then our lady of the hour, our millennium. So proud to have this young lady with us. She give us some awesome expertise about the different sports topic. Now we designate names for people. We haven't given her a name, but you know what? After this past weekend, she took her team of her 10th grade boys with AAU with the Alabama Roadrunners, and she won the tournament over in the Crampton Bowl Multiplex. And now we will call her Queen. And I thank the rest of the team here. She's a queen that's going to bring all the noise that you want to hear, but it's going to be exactly what you want to hear. Because she want to make it do what it do, and she will do that. So check her out, and that's Lauren D. Smith, my daughter. I'm so proud to have her as a part of this team. All right, let's kind of get started with how you can be a part of the show tonight at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You can call in. That's 347-857-4192. And when you call in and you just want to listen to the show, that's great. Listen to it. Also, if you want to just share some thoughts, we'll ask you to follow this procedure. Press 1. I'll recognize you by the last 4 digits of your cell or telephone number. Then I'll ask you to identify yourself, your location. Then I want you to bring it. If you got comments, bring it. If you have questions, bring it. And we're going to give you the best answer that we have, because we're considered to be, and we are experts talking about sports. We also have other ways that you can communicate with us. We're being broadcast through 4 different vehicles. we at this point, we're talking at this time, we have Facebook. That's facebook.com/Dr., which is DRL D'Alberto Smith. That's my Facebook page. If you're going to go to Instagram, you can check us out on Instagram, and it'll be Lorenza D. Smith 15. Then if you want to go to Twitter, you can check us out on Twitter at Talking Sports Plus with the number 1. And then we also have an opportunity to go on YouTube. The channel is the Smith Way Production. And we are so excited to have the opportunity to bring this to you through all of these vehicles. They're being broadcasted, being filmed on all of them. I have all these devices in front of me. And you know what? It's good to have this opportunity. And like we said, we're just going to bring you some hot topics to talk about tonight. Now, if you happen to miss the show or not able to catch tonight's show, you can go to www.blogtalkradio.com/The Smith Way Production. You can click on that. That's a web link, and then you can hear the show live, or you can just go back and listen to the on-demand episode of 129 shows that we've had. Not all of them sports. We focus on several other things as well. And I'll share it as I get to an opportunity to close out the show tonight. Now, we're going to talk some sports at this time. And when we're talking sports, we're just going to bring it to you like how it is. And this is what we're going to share with you tonight, and we want you to be a part of. We're going to look at what quarterback drafted in the 2019 NFL will have the most success. Will it be Kyler Murray, who was drafted by the Arizona Cardinals? Will it be Dwayne Haskins, who was drafted by the Washington Redskins? Or will it be Daniel Jones, who was drafted by the New York Giants? Or will it be at Denver, you have the quarterback coming out of Missouri? Will he have that opportunity of Philly that had an opportunity? Or Jarrett Stidham out of Auburn, who's going to go to the New England Patriots? Those quarterbacks was drafted. We're going to see what kind of success they will have. We're going to monitor them all through the season, and we're going to do our evaluation at the end of the season. But we're going to talk about it tonight at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We also want to look at a topic related to the Giants. Giants made a choice of selecting at the 6th pick in the first round, Daniel Jones. There was a lot of squabbles, there was a lot of surprises, eye-raising. Why did they draft that young man at that slot? But they said that was the best choice. But everybody said you pass up Dwayne Haskins, who we know threw 50 touchdowns. His 1 year starting, 50 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 70% completion. Led his team to a 13-1 record. And you select a player because some people believe it's because of Eli Manning. You know, it's a lot of theories, a lot of thoughts been shared about it. I just believe that with the controversies they had last year, where they eventually benched Eli Manning for one game last year, and led a lot of the people to get an uproar saying that they should look for a quarterback. They should have drafted one last year. They went with Saquon Barkley, an outstanding young running back, gonna have an awesome career, Hall of Famer, eventually prospective Hall of Famer. And you went this year looking for the quarterback. Haskins was there. But just keep in mind, you end up benching him because he didn't perform like he's supposed to. So you brought him back because some of the people started complaining. And basically, we need to get Eli back. He got back, didn't have a great season. They didn't make the playoff. However, by bringing in Daniel Jones, that would not be any kind of challenge to Eli. Eli can ride into the sunset. So we're going to talk about the pick of Daniel Jones by the New York Giants, in the first round. We're going to look at the biggest winner and loser. That's our title for the show tonight, the biggest winner and loser of the 2019 NFL draft. We want to look at who was winner, what team got the players they needed, what team in that first round attacked the situation. You had the Cardinals was able to get Kyler Murray and a few other players. We're going to look at teams that could have drafted someone like the Oakland Raiders. They chose to go with Cleveland Farrell as a defensive lineman. Then Josh Jacobs was an excellent choice right there. You can kind of see that. We're going to talk about that tonight, and the experts are going to share their thoughts. And that's in regards to looking at some specific topic. But we're going to go, we always have various sectors in there, segments in there we call historical black colleges and university storyline. We're going to talk about one of the biggest storylines, and I think it just actually just had everybody excited on Thursday night, and that 23rd pick. Drafted in the 23rd position was Tytus Howard out of Alabama State University. He is the first ever player that's been drafted out of Alabama State in the first round. He made history, and he was drafted where he had an opportunity to be successful with the Houston Texans, and he have a chance to be successful. You know, he have a chance to make him some money. Tytus from Monroeville, Alabama. Tytus was a quarterback as well as a tight end when he was in high school. His last game that he played as a high school quarterback down in Monroe County, he rushed for over 330 yards, and he had an awesome night, but he knew that was his last day playing quarterback. He ended up not being signed by anybody, walked on at Alabama State University, grew about 4 inches, and picked up about 87 pounds, and now he's a first-round draft choice, the only first-round draft choice ever for Alabama State University. So that's outstanding, and we really want to applaud that young man for getting an opportunity to play the game and be successful at that high level. So we want to just talk about that, talk about how important. There are some other players who was drafted from the historical black colleges and universities, and we want to talk about those players as well. And let's continue on and some other impact players that came from those smaller schools. One of the things that came out of this discussion about the young man being drafted in the first round, and it was a quote by one of the former coaches of Alabama State University, Reggie Barlow, who actually recruited the young man. He just said that 774 colleges and universities, that's not just historical black colleges, that's all colleges, provide football program. Only 22 had a first round draft pick. And out of those 22 out of 774 colleges and universities, Alabama State University falls into an elite company because that young man was drafted in the first round in between the first 23 draft choices, and only 22 had those individuals. So you had individuals drafted, so we'll applaud. You notice said 22. That means one of the other colleges had 2 players drafted in the first 23 picks of that first round. So we're going to talk a lot about that tonight. We're going to look at some of the results, as I said earlier, some of the big winners and losers, but we're going to kind of see exactly how those individuals can be successful for what they have, what they need to do, or they're just going to be mediocre and going to go to that point where they're not successful. We're also going to go to our coach's corner. Basically, in our coach's corner, we want to kind of look at Nick Saban. Nick Saban came out probably about a month ago. It might be in between about 2 or 3 weeks ago. He criticized one of his former players for leaving early. And the players was real critical and came back at Nick Saban saying that, you know, you come there, we know we're going to go to the next level. But he was talking about evaluation, draft evaluation. A lot of people don't understand. Those players are drafted, but they're evaluated during the process. And if your evaluation showed that you won't go to the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round unless you just tired of school and you think you're going to make it. And last year there was over about 60 or 70 underclassmen drafted last year, and only but 23 or 24 made it. So now you left to either go back to school or you left to go get a job, or left to try in one of these smaller leagues and hope you get the break. If you got years of eligibility, stay in school. Go to school, finish your school, and be successful, get a degree. And if you don't get drafted where you're supposed to be, automatically you have something to bounce back on. And a lot of our players got to understand. He was just saying that we work with our players. We try to, and I'm not defending Nick Saban. he can handle his own business. But we try to evaluate our players and let them know if you're not drafted in that first round or second round, consider coming on back when you have eligibility left. And there's been several players. Damon Harris did it last year. Several other players before then came back for their senior year. As you remember, Clemson had 3 of their D linemen to come back for the additional year, and their choice they had 3 drafted in the first round this year. Not saying they wouldn't have been drafted last year, but they was drafted this year. So one of the things that it was shared, there was some criticism by one of his former players talking about it, but also you take, for example, this year, Savion Smith that played cornerback, only got 1 year on the field because he had been from junior college, from LSU, junior college to Alabama, and he didn't even get drafted. Didn't get drafted. He could be a free agent. Give that a shot. But when you're drafted, the money starts at a certain point and work it down. If you are not in a position to make that money, stay in school additional year. 1 more year could have helped that one young man who now sits on the outside. There are several other players who was disappointed. And one of the young men here from Montgomery, Alabama, Matt Wilson, yes, he was drafted, but he thought he would go high because he was ranked as one of the top 3 out of top 5. He was ranked 3rd inside linebackers. However, they didn't see that, so he wasn't drafted to the 5th round. He's going to the Cleveland Browns. He can make the team, and there's a lot of statement coming. Sterling Sharp said it doesn't matter where you're drafted; it's what you do you get there. That's true, but it does make a difference if you're drafted in the 1st round or the 2nd round. It makes a difference. Normally, players that are drafted in the first 2 or 3 rounds, there's a good chance there's going to be a slot for you. If you're in the later rounds, you really got to work hard, and you go through the many challenges that you have to go through to get and make a team, if not a practice squad. So consider that before you leave and decide to leave early when you have additional years of eligibility left. Whether you had graduated through 3 years, after graduation, you can go to another school or stay there at that university. If that's your dream to play professional football, do that. Make sure you consider and make the right choice, because once you sign with an agent or receive money, it's done. Your amateurism status is done. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Houston Rockets, what exactly occurred in that first game, why there's so many complaints. And now we're on the Coach's Corner. We're going to be talking about a little basketball, NBA basketball. They'll complain about the officiating of the game, one between the Warriors. Harden was one of the main ones, saying that he just wanted to be treated fair, and a lot of time there was some criticism. They went the NBA go and look at the last 2 minutes and look at the tapes to see in the last 2 minutes, not to more or less, yes, to rate the officials, but to kind of see if there are some calls that should have, could have went the other way. And there was a couple calls that could have went the other way. It was 3 particular calls that the official made. 2 of them they could have called, which was on Stephen Curry, where 2 fouls could have been called on him, which would have been his 6th foul, and it was not called. And then the so-called foul that was not called against James Harden. It's just they rated, said 2 of them could have been called, and the other one was correct. So we could go and look at every part of the game, spend a whole lot of time. But as a professional athlete, you're spending more time worrying about the officials. Now, you're dealing with a situation, now you're in the whole 2-0. You're one of the best teams that's been in a long time in the NBA. This is a dynasty that's starting and growing. And you don't have time to think about officials. You need to go there and play. You missed 29 shots. You hit 7 out of 36. And you shooting, and you're just not going to beat a team like the Golden State Warriors unless you're on top of your game. So we'll kind of see how the game's going to turn out. That's coming up on Friday. And we'll see, because it's 2-0. Houston is down 2-0. They first game, they got beat. And they complained about it, and it came out the second game, and I guess they were still complaining, wasn't focusing on, and the Warriors was focused, even though they didn't win by 6 or 7, but they still, playing at a high level. So it's going to be interesting the next few games to see how it turn out. Houston, they can't win at home. And still, if they win at home, they still may not be competitive in 5 games. They may be eliminated in 5 games. It's starting to see this going on. The other series going real well. You have it's 1-1 with the Raptors. They're 1-1, and they're doing it with Philadelphia. You got Boston and Milwaukee 1-1. Milwaukee got blasted that first game, and they came back and blasted Boston the second game. And Denver is up 1-0 on Portland. So it's crunch time. It's beginning to grind. Let's grind and get it down to the point. Then we're going to look at some high school storylines in spring sports. Our resident expert will be here sharing some thoughts. So we look forward to hearing what's going on in high school. A lot of teams are playing spring games. A lot of teams are doing baseball, softball. We're in the tournament now. They're in the playoff in baseball. They're about to get into softball. Track is coming up. The first always would be this weekend, the championship. So, we're looking forward to see a lot of that to come to the end. That's pretty much all over the southeastern part of the United States. So we're going to kind of keep you abreast of that as we move forward. We don't give you all this week. We'll give you some things next week. So we look forward to being here for you through all of these vehicles, sharing the word. We want you to be a part of it. I appreciate every time I look at my board and see individuals who enjoy us, whether it's through Facebook, whether it's through Instagram, whether it's through Twitter. We do appreciate you joining us. And we want to make sure we give that shout out to you tonight like we always do. Now, again, Talking Sports Plus will be aired at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Our call-in number is 347-857-4192. Call us, share your thoughts, give us your comments, give your questions about the topics we're talking about. All right, before I move forward and conclude this, we got about 6 minutes. I want to give a shout out to one of our guests that was on our Monday night show, which is Talking Real to You. 2 weeks ago, she's a financial specialist, and for all your financial and insurance need, call Rachel K. Williams, financial specialist. She's with Prime America, as well as she's have some independent things going on. Contact information for Rachel is 817-477-7038. Her Instagram is I am Rachel K. Williams. Facebook, if you want to check her out on Facebook, make contact that way. Facebook.com/Rachel K. Williams. For all your financial insurance need, give her a call. Give Rachel Williams a call. She works with Prime America, as well as she do some things independent through her company, which is Rachel K. Williams. She's the CEO. Give her a call. That's what we want to make sure you share with you. We also want to make sure we talk about what we're doing with the Smith Way Production Company. We have several things going on. We have on Monday night, which is every other Monday night, we have our Just Plain Old Issues show. We just talk about life issues. And the name of that show is Talking Real to You. And it's aired at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Blog Talk Radio, and through the same web link, which is www.blogtalkradio.com, the Smith Way Production. You can connect with us on Monday night, as well as our call-in number. You can call in 347-857-4192. I have 3 co-hosts that works with me on Monday night, and that's Ms. Scarlett H. Black out of Greenville, South Carolina. We have Dr. Olivia E. Smith out of the surrounding area of Atlanta, Georgia, and the young lady that serves as the name of this show is, and his brand is, the only father and daughter Blog Talk Radio show in the country. My daughter. She's a co-host. That's Lauren D. Smith. Those are the 3 individuals who serve as a co-host on Monday night. On Tuesday night, which was this past Tuesday, we had an outstanding show last night, the Dr. Lowe Show. I host that show, and those 3 other individuals join in as experts and talk and share their thoughts as well. Last night, Scarlett H. Black was with me, and we just talked about relationship. The name of the show is the Dr. Lowe Show, and it's the real relationship show that talks about all topics. And I am the guru. I don't have no problem. The guru that talks about just relationship with no limits. We don't hold back. Share your thoughts, but join us. And that's Tuesday night, every other Tuesday at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We have tonight's show on Wednesday, every Wednesday at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, Talking Sports Plus. I'm the host, and I already shared who the co-hosts are. And then on Friday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, we have, and that's every other Friday, that's Balling with the Doc. And we talk just about the hottest sports topics of the week. We just share things, and we let you do the same thing by using the call-in number. We'll be aired on Facebook. We'll be also aired on Instagram. And with enough devices, we're going to even have Twitter, and we do a podcast through Anchors. So we're ready to serve you. We do thank each and every one of the listeners who's listening to us. We're so glad to have the opportunity not only to serve the United States. We have 11 other countries that listen to our show through Blog Talk Radio. And we're so proud to have the opportunity. We know the United Kingdom, we're in Norway, we're in Sweden, we're in France, we're in Zambia, Uganda, in Dubai, and we just in Puerto Rico, which is the province of the United States, and we just in all those places, and we're so happy to be recognized to have 11 states, and I said, 12 states, I'm including the United States. So it's 12 states, 12 countries. Let me get it right. 12 countries that's listening to us. We have listeners there, and we're so glad to have that recognition. So to that point, as the host of all those shows, I received the recognition through Blog Talk Radio as a international talk radio show personality. I appreciate that. And you heard it on my opening, and I'm glad to have that recognition, and grinding and working hard is all what it's all about. All right, now again, our show comes on at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We want you to join us. We want you to be a part of it. But again, we're at the end of the show. We only do 30 minutes in a preview show to get ready for that. We get that 30-minute break so we can make sure all our vehicles and all our equipment is working like it's supposed to, so we're ready to go at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Now, just remember that call-in number. We want you to be a part of it. Now, we're not on Facebook. We're not on any other mechanism or any kind of vehicle, but we're on Blog Talk Radio. And again, if you want to be a part of that show and just listen to the show, just like all these other individuals doing throughout the world, you can go to www.blogtalkradio.com/The Smith Way Production. Or if you want to just call in and just listen to the show and just listen to it, you don't have to say anything, 347-857-4192. And you have something that's burning you and you want to come in or ask a question, just press 1 and I'll identify you with those last 4 digits of your cell or telephone number. Then what I'll do is tell you, join the conversation. Tell us who you are and where you're calling from. So we look forward to having you in about 30 minutes. We're at really 31 minutes. We're about to wrap this show, and I appreciate each of those individuals that's joining. I always try to give a shout out to those individuals because you took time to join us on Facebook, on Instagram. And on Instagram, a lot of time we have handles. On Twitter, they have handles, and you see them, and you just really can't just pull out what they are. But we thank you for joining us. But on Facebook, we see names, and I do appreciate each and every one of you all. And I want to give you that shout out like I do every time I'm on Facebook. Tracy Hurd Kendrick, Tracy, I do appreciate you. Tracy is a manager down at the Village Place, located at South Court Street. South Court Street. You can go ahead and check it out. It's right across from the federal courthouse. It's an awesome atmosphere to just relax, get you some libation, and listen to some music, watch some television, have some friendly conversation with your friends. Invite all your friends to come down, and y'all can sit there and just have a quiet time in between those hours of 5 to to 11. Tracy will correct me when she see me on Friday night to make sure, you be available. Normally I go down on Friday and enjoy it to about 9:30, 10 at the most. But if that's what you want to do, check it out. Miles Brown, I appreciate it. Miles is a loyal listener. Miles is one of my students from McKenzie School, played football and basketball, and later went on, received his teaching certification to teach, and then came back and coached, as well as was a teacher. Now he is the principal of McKenzie Schools. Miles, I appreciate you. You're loyal listener. You're here on Facebook with us. You're going through all our growing pains, and thank you so much. Latoria Legacy Dickin Foxworth, thank you for joining us, and I've seen you before. Your name is running across my stream before, and I do appreciate it. Regina Collins, thank you, Regina, for joining us. Regina, you're taking time. Regina Collins. We have Ian Johnson, thank you for joining us, and Shanita Arrington Mitchell. Thank you, Shanita, my sister, good friend. Shanita, thank you for joining us. And we're just so proud to have an opportunity to have each and every one of you join me when I go live on Facebook. And we look forward to being here for you. Give us we can meet your promotional needs, and we can meet your marketing needs. You want to advertise something, give us a call. Now, the office number is 334-467-7261. Not just in relation to sports, but we do a lot of other things. As you know, we have shows dealing with just plain old life issues, relationship, and we just focus on a lot of things. And we got another show will be coming out. It'll be a show dealing with financial services and security, and we'll have that announced very soon. So again, we appreciate you joining us, and we look forward to having you at 8 o'clock now. And I always say, it's good to have a chance to be before you, but it's good to have you before me. And I thank you. It's a blessing because this is an awesome day. It's wonderful Wednesday. God bless us to see Hump Day. And I want you to have an awesome night. It'll be even better when you tune in at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's time to shut it down. It's time, what I always say, it's time to call it quits of this preview show. But be ready for our regular show that happened at 8 o'clock. My hashtag is keep on grinding. My other hashtag is communicate for understanding. And if individuals see up on the board where it may pop up and you see something, you say, well, man, he need to get that out of the way. I can't see. I have to go, working this thing out, making this thing work, making it work for us so we can really enjoy what we're doing here. It's a great opportunity to be before you. Some of you still saying, man, get that out of the way. But you know what? We enjoy having you. So you check us out. And this is the musical part. Just leaving us. Now, as I said, my other hashtag is communicate for understanding. And last but not least, I love you, and ain't a thing you can do about it. So have an awesome night, and you have a good time. And that's something I'm introducing you, and we're about to close this thing out. But like I say, have a good time, and I will talk with you. All right, just keep in mind, our best days are ahead of us. Our best days are ahead of us. You know how this is what computers do to you. Sometimes they send you in a different way. There we go. We're going to close it out with that now. Thank you for joining us. We're going to get it right. We're going to make it work. I love you. Yeah, I love you.